So Letitia and Marsau basically wants everybody to pitch in on this doggone Black Expo, but they don't want to pay nobody. What world are y'all living in? Secondly, Mel and Martell go back and forth like doggone kids, and I understand now why the judge was tied and through with both of them. This is really getting ridiculous because at the end of the day, the children are the ones who are suffering the most. Are y'all ready to talk about this review? Let's go.
Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or for discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toss it out. Flip my weave and walk it out. Look how I just bossed it out. Now come on, baby, why you bugging? We can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no, I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Voodoo back with another review. Love and Marriage Huntsville season, I want to say 6, episode 2 or 3. Girl, I don't know. I missed last week because it really was like a filler. Only thing we missed was basically Marsau and Tisha basically wants all the people to come together and help them with a Black Expo for the free. They don't want to pay nobody. They want to raise all this money, but don't want to pay people for their time. And for the life of me, I don't understand who they think they are. Tisha, you are a very intelligent girl, but you ain't intelligent enough to have people working around there for free. I'm sorry. Say what I said. But that's really basically all y'all missed from last week. It wasn't much. It felt to me like a filler episode. But that's my opinion, neither here nor there. But anyway, let's jump into this week's episode because this one was a little bit nicer. You know what I mean? This one had a lot more going on. So the episode opens up. Stormi and her husband, Courtney, is having a meeting with the staff because they need feedback. Basically, they've been around there messing up. They ain't been doing their jobs. People on their phones. Ain't nobody doing their jobs or whatever. And they looking for feedback to see how they can improve. But Stormi tells them that they basically being complacent. They be on their phones. They not doing what they need to do. And what's his name? Courtney got up there and hollers, well, yeah, because we need to straighten up and fly right, because if not, y'all can leave if you don't like it. So basically, Courtney ready to fire everybody. And the first thing I was thinking in my head was, how much ownership do you really have in this company? Because Black women, we love bringing along Black men in our business ventures and acting like it's both of ours. But then as soon as the relationship go bad or we break up or we get divorced, then we want to spill the tea that they really ain't own shit and it was all your idea. I want to know. I'm sorry, I want to know. I just get those vibes from him. Anyway, but basically, they get the feedback from the people. The people basically say they need help. They say they need a lot of help, and that's basically what's going to help them out. But, Stormi doesn't want to bring in a whole bunch of people until she knows that this group of people are a solid group. I understand that. I understand that completely because I would want to make sure that they're good too, because you might need to do a little bit firing if you ask me. But the only thing I didn't like about that was Courtney was in there crying at the meeting. Now, girl, you the boss, right? You can't be in there crying. I get it. That's some of your family and friends and all of that, but you got to be able to separate the personal from the business, fat. You in there crying. I'm with Courtney. Ain't nothing wrong with you crying and being emotional, but I need you to do that in the back. Don't do that in front of them. I'm with him. But she basically talk about how they in the rears, child. They ain't getting their product out. These people need their product and they ain't got it. Courtney, you might need to do a little house cleaning down there. And Stormi, I'm sorry. Y'all might just need to do a little house cleaning. And that'll cure it all. Let's move on to the next scene. So we move to the next scene. Mel is over there talking with her team because she's actually considering working with Letitia. Oh, how far we have come. Last year, Tisha was just saying that she was the devil. You know what I'm saying? And she was so evil. And now look at them working together, trying to work together at least for a good cause. But nevertheless, hopefully this goes good and hopefully they don't go back and forth because I'm tired of the saga of the Tisha and Mel. Y'all was cool at first, then y'all hated each other. I need y'all to find one place and stay there. Rather it's hate or love or cordialness. Find a place and stay there. Nevertheless, she's having this meeting with her team to see what she have on her plate. And child, they got a whole bunch going on. That girl says she done got $1 million worth of sales in her beauty stuff. She's they want her to do a movie fashion week in Dubai. The girl, listen, Mel is being very blessed with the things and the opportunities that's been happening for her. I feel like Mel is doing something right and putting something right out in the universe to where she's being so successful. I'm here for it. I'm all for Black women, especially single mothers and Black women that are out here doing the damn thing and making moves and making stuff happen. I'm here for it. The only thing I could think of is Martell's going to try to play on that and be like, oh, she ain't never there for them kids. And that's going to drive me insane. You know why? Because not that she shouldn't be there, because she should. But I get it. She has to work and she's a successful businesswoman. My only thing is when men do it, it's a problem. It's no problem. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I just don't get how women get held to a higher standard when it comes to the kids that the men don't get held to. Because in my opinion, just like she's a working mother and she's a business owner and all that stuff, Martell is the same way. And I know he might not have a lot of businesses going on right now because he can't pass the doggone contracting license. Test. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I do feel like she should be able to have both and be successful in both parenting and, finding balance with her work. That's just me. But anyway, so after they give her all this good news and she's just like, things are doing really, really well, she sits down to have a conversation with her manager. Now, Mel and her manager has a heart-to-heart that was much needed. And she basically was checking on her mental. Like, how are you mentally, emotionally? How's everything going? Because we see all these other things manifesting, but how are you doing? And, Mel starts to talk about how, she went through a divorce and she, her life has changed drastically. And she doesn't want her kids to experience any type of shift in the way they lived before versus now. So she's working very hard to make sure that they have a sense of normalcy. You know what I mean? When it comes to, the children and not having their lives interrupted. So I'm here for that because that's probably a lot for her to work with and deal with. Then having Martell as a husband, you know what I mean? Because he's a whole nother level of crazy. And then having to deal with kids, businesses, multiple business ventures. I'm pretty sure that's a lot for her to deal with. But she tells the manager lady, I don't know her name, I'm sorry y'all, but she tells her, hey, look, I'm throwing Malia this birthday party. Malia and Mariah, they birthdays are kind of like, I guess a few days apart. So she going to throw them a birthday party and hopefully keep all the energy good around her. Meaning, AKA, she don't want Martell to come. And, in that moment, I said, he coming. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how Martell is. And ultimately, this was all his fault. But I have some more words for that at the end of this doggone thing. So let's get into the next scene. So on the next scene, Tisha and Marsau is hosting a slutty vegan pop-up shop outside of Black. When I tell you, Tisha sat down with this girl. This is the director, the creator, director, or whoever she is. But she sat down with this girl and gave her a pitch. I say, listen, Marsau ain't stupid. He a little slow, but he ain't stupid. He needs Tisha. Because the way Tisha sat down and said, hey, look, you got a great turnout out here in Huntsville. It's a fast growing Black community. Our business is in the Black community. I am what she said, a broker, realtor broker, commercial broker, whatever she is. And my husband does commercial real estate. And we would love to build you a building out here where we're developing. Listen, that pitch, I said, Tisha, you are smart and very pretty. I don't understand why you take the BS from Martell, not Martell, from Marsau that you take, because you are very, very intelligent. But that sales pitch, like I said, was perfect. Now, in the midst of this, after they had this meeting and the girl said she's going to look into it because, they are looking to expand to smaller areas and smaller towns like that. Kimmy and Maurice arrives. Now, they arrives with their slutty vegan that'll have a conversation. They over there, enjoying the slutty vegan. I've always wanted to try it. I ain't gonna lie. It's up here in Atlanta, but every time I've heard about it, they say the line's wrapped all around the corner. And girl, I ain't that hungry. I'll just go to Burger King and get a real burger, girl. I'm not about to be standing in no line. That's just me. I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, so they sit down and they have a conversation. Marsau wants to try the slutty vegan, but Maurice was like, wait a minute. I thought Martell had you on this good workout plan here. He said, ain't no rebrand, ain't no workout plan. Basically, all we doing is he's telling me, showing me how to work out, and I'm cutting back on my liquor and drinking more water. That's basically all it is. I said, oh, okay. But Black men in general can lose weight like that. And I hate that because women, we got to work 10, 12, 1,000 times harder to get the fat off of us. Whereas men could just like cut something out like sodas or cold, we call it in New Orleans, cold drinks. And then everything is good to go. I hate that. But anyway, let's get back to this. So anyway, Tisha brings up this doggone comeback group / now she's calling the Black Expo thing, and asked Maurice and Kimmy if they still wanted to be a part of the raising money aspect and all that. And like Kimmy said, this is exactly why I asked you, girl, at the meeting, is this a y'all thing or is this something that we all doing, and how is the compensation? She was like, because at the end of the day, our time is valuable, fat. We ain't got time to just be coming around here helping y'all raise no money and y'all ain't paying us for come doing speaking engagements and all that. She basically needs to know, listen, what are y'all looking for? Like, what is exactly that you need? Because I need to know that so I can know how I want to help. Because Kimmy and Maurice is very into helping, because it's a good cause. Black Expo is really a good cause, but you can't expect people to come around and do things for you pro bono. You know what I mean? And make it like it's a group effort when it's really not. It's really a you and Marsau thing. So I'm with Kimmy on that. Kimmy said, look, baby, I'm on a different level, okay? We gonna need a little bit compensation. And Tisha said, well, girl, we all on different levels. So if we know that, then why aren't you compensating them, Letitia? You ain't that smart. Now, come on now. So Kimmy is not interested unless they ready to talk about how the money gonna be done and how they gonna get compensated. And I'm honestly with Kimmy. Like, she needs specifics. She feel like they not answering the questions. They beating around the bush. We having all these meetings, and nobody is basically saying what exactly it is. Like, what's going on? Like, let's cut to the chase. Let's like not act like, this is something, that shouldn't be discussed, or it's not that big of a deal. Then, Tisha and Marsau happened to get into their doggone confessional and basically want to try to say, Tisha and Marsau, I'm sorry, gets into the doggone confessional and basically tries to say that Kimmy is asking too many questions and she sounded like the host, her and Maurice. Why? Because they want to know how they getting compensated. Y'all sound crazy. That girl time is just as valuable as y'all's. And I get it, we giving back to the community, but if you receiving, I need to be giving back too. What are you saying? And talking about, we need to get them from around Martell and what's the girl name? Mel, because now they acting like them. I don't like that. I think that y'all are trying to use people for y'all own cause that ultimately will probably help the community, but you're using people and I don't like it. And I don't think you get to do that, because even Maurice had to ask Marsau, listen, are we getting paid or what? Like, what's going on? Is this a thing where y'all just using us? And Marsau tried to make a joke and was like, yeah, we using y'all. No, that's exactly what you're doing. You're using everybody, and then you want to make all the profit or all the gain off of it. And that's not how this works. I don't care who they hanging out with. I'm with Kimmy. I'm not coming down there and doing no speech. I ain't talking to no black business owner. I don't give a damn. You're going to have to pay me. That's how it works in this doggone industry. Anybody knows that in any speaking engagement, you are compensated. Rather it's through money. I don't know, however, but you are compensated. People ain't jumping out their bed doing all this type of stuff for free. And I'm with Kimmy on that. Let's move to the next scene. So now Marsau is meeting up with Martell to talk about this doggone workout plan. And basically they're doing a bartering system where Martell's going to help Marsau work out and get in shape. And then Marsau is going to help Martell pass this doggone contract exam. Martell, you got to be the slowest Negro Martin Luther King died for. How many times? What is wrong? What you not a good test taker? And they say you went to college. Did you graduate? I have a lot of questions, because why is it that you can't pass this test? And listen, some people aren't good test takers. I get that. But with Martell, it's just giving slow. I'm sorry. It's giving slow. I'm sorry. But anyway, he asked Marsau what's his goal. And he said he wanted to look the way he looked in 2018 in a span of 120 days. And he shows him a picture. And he said he was able to do it before when he buckled down and did what he needed to do. That's what he wanted to do. So Martell was like, bet, well, I'll do you one better. I'll try to pass my contracting license or exam, in 120 days. So that'll be both of our goals. And I'm sitting here going, child, good luck. God bless his fools and babies, baby. Anyway, so Marsau then pulls out these books, these study guides that he said normally they charge a couple of $1,000s for you to go to the course. And but he's gonna go ahead on and do that for him because they helping each other out. Yeah. He's basically showing them how to study and how to take tests. And this is what I'm learning in my career field as well. When you're taking tests, you have to put yourself in the mind of the people who are giving you the test. What would they do? You know how they used to have that old thing, what would Jesus do? Basically, when you taking tests, you have to answer the questions according to the way the person that's giving you the test or the company that's administering the test. You have to answer the questions according to how they would want you to respond. Not how you want to respond, but how you would want, or how you think they want you to respond. It's basically a whole psychological thing. All these tests are. And I think that that's probably the biggest part that Martell is lacking on. Either that or he's slow, but I'm giving slow. I'm gonna say he's slow, but I do think that people who struggle with test taking it be mainly because of that reason. But anyway, so they talking about that, and they get into the conversation of Marsau saying that Mel invited Tisha and the kids to the birthday party. Now Martell is shocked because he was like, Mel don't even deal with Tisha. Last time I heard they was enemies. Now all of a sudden you inviting her to the birthday party. Like, what's going on? Like, what you think that's about? And Marsau was like, well, maybe they just want to move forward and do something different. You know what I mean? And be cordial and try to be on a good foot. Like, I believe Martell when he said Mel ain't doing none of that for no genuine stuff. Who knows what Mel got up her sleeve? Because Mel falls out with all her friends. This is what we know. I ain't no Melamita. I'm going to tell y'all the guy down the street. She falls out with all her friends. Tisha, just get what you can get out of it before she cuss you out again and y'all be beefing again. Anyway, so they start talking about that, and Martell brings up the fact that Mariah or Malia, I want to say the oldest one, sent him an email and invited him to the party and said the mama said he could come. Now, the fact that his kids have to communicate with him through email, let me just say this before I go here. Because I am not Team Mel. I am not Team Martell. I think they both idiots. That's just my opinion when it comes to this co-parenting. That is my opinion. Battle me, wrestle me in the doggone comments. I believe that it is not okay that those children only way to communicate with their father when they are with their mother is through email. That is completely unethical and it is completely insane. It's not okay. Now, they say he was he gave the kids a phone and wanted the kids to have a phone, but she didn't want him to have a phone. But at least with that phone, he would be able to directly communicate with the kids. Now, I understand Mel's position because Mel was like, she didn't know if he would put a tracker on the phone because, Martell would do something weird like that. You know what I mean? And be keeping tracks of her and all of that. And I get that. But at the end of the day, kids are involved. Both of them gonna have to give and bend a little bit. Both of them, not just Mel, because I know that was a whole nother thing. Everybody like, y'all want Mel to do this, y'all want Mel to do that. When you divorce and you have children, that's the nature of the beast that you're dealing with. You don't get to have 100% control of nothing. Period. It sucks, but it's the truth. You have to be able to co-parent and compromise with your significant or ex-significant other so that the kids can have a normal lifestyle. And let me say this too, because Martell is over there telling Marsau that basically, she didn't invite him personally, but the kids, one of the kids invited him via email. I find it funny, and y'all could go back to my old video, the episode when Mel invited Martell to go on that vacation as a family, fresh off the divorce. I said it was a mistake for multiple reasons. One, you're giving the children a false sense of reality. That's just not what it's going to be moving forward. Number one. Number two, you blur the lines when you do that, because now you got Martell trying to scratch his head and figure out, damn, I could go on vacation with y'all, but I can't come to my child's birthday party. It's given, this is my opinion, and I know a lot of y'all don't want to believe it, but think about your own situations and think about a lot of the things that y'all go through and your friends and family and all of that. A lot of the time, they've been together since college. They've been together for a long time. They got 4 kids together. You can't tell me they ain't double back a couple times in between now and the divorce. Period. You can't. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Mel is very fickle when she wants to deal with Martell. She want to deal with Martell when she want to deal with Martell. And when she don't want to deal with Martell, she don't want to deal with Martell. It's insane to me. And the only people suffering are the kids. I don't care about none of these people. All I care about is the kids. I'm not holding Martell accountable for what he did in the marriage when it pertains to the kids, because that's 2 completely separate things and you have to separate that. Period. Even Marsau was like, what's the deal? Like, what's going on? And you know what Martell told him? He don't want people to see that we have a successful co-parenting issue. So what she's doing is basically putting on a show in front of everybody else. I believe it. Mel is petty just like Martell. They are 2 birds of a feather. Why do you think they were married for so long? Y'all putting it all on Martell like Mel don't do nothing, and Mel does stuff just as well as he does. They are both insane. And if y'all want to throw out the narc word, they both narcs. If you ask me, both of them. I'm only concerned about the kids, because everybody's so worried about Martell gonna do this and Martell did this when they was married and Martell. What about the kids? But see, y'all don't want to talk about that because all people want to care about is how they feel. Oh, but he did this to me. He did that to me. I don't care about none of that. What about the kids? Let me say this. In the Black community, there are very few children who have fathers in their lives. And this is a fact. I would never want to be in a situation where I'm not letting my children deal with their fathers as much as they want to be. Period. I would never want to be in that type of situation because I grew up with a father. I know how important it is to have a daddy in your life. I would never take that away from my kids. Period. Let's move to the next scene. So now Stormi and her husband down there at the warehouse, and her cousin Junior is late again. Junior, See, let me say this. This is why I don't hire family. I would never hire my family, never, because they feel like they have a grace that they really don't have. Nevertheless, they looking for Junior. Junior ain't nowhere to be found, child. When he finally get in there, Stormi take him to the back, and have a meeting with him to ask him what's been going on with his energy. Energy. Girl, nobody worry about no energy. Why is your ass late all the time? That's how I would have started. Cousin, family, sister, brother, child. Why is you always late? Now, Courtney at first said he wasn't going to show up on the meeting. He was going to let her have the meeting by herself. And then he pops in on the meeting like this when Junior was getting ready to voice his concerns. So here we are in this meeting, and Stormi wants to know why his energy off. And I'm sitting here wondering and scratching my head, who gives a damn about the energy? Why is your ass late? So Junior denies being late, even though he walked in late on the day of the doggone meeting, and said that they get a 5-minute grace period and he'd be clocking in before the 5 minutes is up. Junior. Stormi even had to tell you, boy, you a lie. You done clocked in at 8:08, 8:10. It's been a lot of stuff going on. But he talk about it's traffic. I can't control the traffic. What you know what you can control? Getting up early enough to get there on time, Junior. That's what it is. I said what I said. You late, you running late, and it's not okay. But Junior feels like Courtney rides him more than he ride anybody else. And Courtney was like, yeah, I do ride you because you the cousin. I gotta ride you. But Junior was like, but your brother work here. You don't be on him like that. And Courtney said, because he don't be late. I ain't gotta get on him because he be on time. You be late, fat. But Junior ain't trying to hear that. Junior basically making every excuse in the world. Courtney sitting up there like, I ain't got time for this. I'd have fired his ass a long time ago. But Junior says he got a target on his back by Courtney. And Courtney said, listen, every time I turn around, you on the phone. You always in the phone. You ain't doing no work. We behind on this, behind on that. And you turn around on the phone. It's just too much. But, Junior's not here for that. Junior feels like he's being targeted. And he's just only doing that to him. But Stormi ultimately makes the decision to go ahead on and let Junior go. She said, you know what? We had better energy. Our energies, girl, to hell with energy. But anyway, she don't want it to come between her business and her family. And, in my mind, I'm saying don't hire family and you won't have these issues, child. I'm pretty sure people out there in Huntsville need a job. But anyway, she ended up letting him go. And Junior was like, bet. Like, Junior ain't feel no way. Courtney was like, shit, I hope you still come by the house next week. He was like, yeah, I'm pulling up. I ain't doing no tripping. The only person over there crying and acting the fool is Stormi. Stormi, girl, I'm going to need you to pull up your pants and panties and let's move on, okay? He's gone. Hopefully, y'all going to be cool and ain't going to have no issues. Let's move to the last scene. Okay, so it's the day of the birthday party, child. Mariah and Malia's birthday party. They did the skating ring. I thought the decor was pretty. It's very girly, very cute. I'm here for it. Everything was going fine until doggone Martell showed up. And for the life of me, I'm like, why are you here, Martell? Why? You did not have to come to this birthday party. But then again, if it is true that Mariah called and asked him to come, then I understand him coming. Now, if he had a communication with Mel, he could have contacted her, but she's blocked him. But he could have contacted her and said, hey, is it okay for me to come to the party? Listen, I'm not saying that Mel is wrong in him and feeling like she don't want him there. But I feel like when you cut off communication, this type of stuff happens. So now he's here. According to him, the daughter emailed him and told him she wanted him to come. Soon as Mel see him, Mel pulls him on the side, on outside and said they need to have a word because she don't want the energy around. My only thing is, what about the kids? Them kids literally lit up when they seen their daddy. They did. Them kids love their daddy. You might hate them. America might hate them. But them children love their daddy. And that's a period. And the fact that the kids lit up like that and then Mel brings him outside to have this big old, to do about him coming there. And again, she's not wrong for not wanting him there, but he's there now. Why make it look like, pull him aside and have him thinking that, have the kids thinking that basically my daddy just left. She pulls him outside nevertheless and tells him basically, look, this is my week with the kids. I don't know why you here. You could have them later on. That was a good compromise. That was a great compromise. And I feel like Martell should have just turned around and said, well, okay, fine. Let me go in there and tell him bye. And later on, I can come back and get the kids and me and the kids could do something, for ourselves. That's what should have happened, but that didn't happen because Martell is emotionally unintelligent, period. He's very immature emotionally and mentally. So Martell's out there arguing back and forth with Mel, basically saying he ain't going nowhere. This is his kid's birthday. And he brought up a point. He said, you had the kids for 56 days last year and I didn't even get to spend their birthday with them. And that was the even year. Because, Mel hollers, odd years is for the mother, even years is for the father. Martell brings up the fact that you had the kids last year and I didn't get to see them. And Mel said, I invited you. You just didn't come. They back and forth, and I'm sitting here, listen, I understand the judge. Because they giving me a doggone headache. It's not that big of a deal. Martell, you shouldn't have came. First of all, you should not have come. If you hadn't spoken to Mel, you should not have come. If, in fact, your daughter emailed you and told you to pull up, then that's something different. I would basically say that Martell should have called Mel or sent her an email or something to basically say, hey, can I come? But Mel has blocked all communication. This is why blocking your baby daddy is not going to work. And I'm pretty sure any judge, I hadn't really gone through their court case or whatever, but any judge will basically tell her she has to have an open line of communication to him, even if he is stalking and harassing her, because that's another thing I heard. Well, he's stalking and harassing her. She need to call the police and make police reports. Hell, she calling him for everything else. She threatening to call him when he at the birthday party. When he's stalking and harassing you, make police reports. Have a doggone documentation ledger that when you get to court again, you can say, see, Your Honor, I opened up communication and this is what he's doing, and let the judge deal with that. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is you calling the police for this, that, and the third, except for the stalking and harassment that y'all claim and she claims that he's doing, but it's not documented. And if it's not documented, it didn't happen. We got to go beyond the show. We have to go beyond the show because this is bigger than the show. It's not happening on that level. So in the judge's eyes, it does not exist. And that's just what it is. But anyway, they're out there arguing back and forth. Martell basically said he ain't leaving the party. Mel said she gonna call the police. He said, well, go ahead on and call them. Martell did say that she always calling the police, and every time she called the police, it works out in his favor. That should tell you a lot. It does tell me a lot. It means that it's probably frivolous reasons that she's calling the police. Don't call him for the birthday party and leaving and all that. Call him when he's harassing and stalking you so that we can go from there. That's just, it is what it is. I'm not taking no sides in this. If he's stalking and harassing you, that's when you should be dialing 911. Not when he shows up at a birthday party that you don't want him to be there. The energies is getting mixed up. And there's no reason why that shouldn't be happening the way I said it should be happening. If Martell says she always calling the police and it always works out in his favor, it's probably because it's for frivolous things. I'm not saying that the allegations of him abusing the boy or nothing like that. I'm not talking about in that aspect. I'm talking about in the aspect of you calling the police on him for this, that, and the third, and nothing is happening. Probably because a lot of this stuff got to be taken care of in court. Not on the street. The police can't really do nothing outside of the court order. Duh. But probably because of that, and also because it's frivolous. That's just what I believe. Sorry. So now Miss Van decides to step out there and step in. And I'm thinking in my head, why, Miss Van? Your children are grown. Mel is grown. Martell is grown. Let them handle their own business. And if you're going to step out there, why step in it? She gets to telling him that he needs to step back, and then he gets to yelling at her. Martell, why is you yelling at a woman? You a bitch ass nigga. I'm sorry. Close your ears if you don't like the doggone hear cussing. Martell, you a bitch ass nigga. Because you over there hollering and screaming in this woman's face like for what? For what? And Miss Van, you ain't got no old man or no son that would have popped him upside his head, because I know my mama would have had somebody pop you upside your head, Martell. Period. You don't holler at no woman like that. And I get the frustration, but you need to be able to control yourself as a man, Martell. You sounded like a little bitch when you did that. And that's just what it is. You sounded like a bitch. That was 100% wrong. But my thing is, y'all out here arguing and doing all of this, them cheering in the doggone skating ring, looking around for both of y'all, and y'all out there arguing when all you had to do was say, Martell, go in there, say bye to your kids, and leave. None of them want to budge because they both are two in the same. I'm sorry. None of them want to budge because they both two in the same. It's not one-sided here. And I've been seeing a lot of that on social media. Oh, poor Mel, poor Mel. I'm not saying it ain't poor Mel, but Mel is not the innocent little angel and Martell is just running amok. I don't believe that. I believe that they both doing little petty stuff. You know what I mean? Some is surface and some is subsurface, but I believe they both doing petty things to each other, which is why we're here. Thank God. Martell ended up just going back inside and, basically telling the kids bye. That was the better thing to do. Get them later on, Martell. Stop being a little biatch. You know what I mean? But ultimately, those kids were so excited to see their daddy. And that's the part that's breaking my heart. Y'all around here, Team Mel, millimeters, and Martell, and Team Martell, and Martell ain't do this to Mel, and Mel ain't do this to Martell. What about them kids? I hate to say this, but I would hate to be some of y'all's children. I really would, because y'all would really hurt the children all to save your own feelings and to deal with how you feel. And all I could look at again was this picture and them kids and how excited they was to see their daddy. And I just thought it was very, very silly that we even had to go through all of this. It just didn't make no sense. But the kids love their daddy. And that's just what it is. And ain't nobody gonna be able to tell them kids otherwise. Them kids love their daddy. And their daddy love them kids. He might not be worth a nothing as a father. I mean as a husband, but he's a good father to them kids. Let's move to the next scene. So now after Martell go ahead on and leave, Mel goes over and have a conversation with Tisha and Kiki. And might I say, Tisha, that color is very gorgeous on your skin, girl. Tisha is a beautiful girl. I don't care what nobody say. But anyway, she goes to have a conversation with them. And Kiki was like, girl, I'm surprised you and my cousin back cool, girl. What's going on? And Mel was like, girl, no, what's going on with you? I'm surprised you and your cousin is back on good terms, especially how it was at the doggone spa day that we had. And you know, Kiki makes mention that, you know, she all right or whatever, but she didn't appreciate how Tiff jumped on her, basically saying that she had a problem with her. She felt attacked, I guess, or whatever the case may be. Tiffany is messy. This is what we know. Tiffany deserves to get cussed out. That is also a thing that we know. But I'm standing on the side of Tiffany when she say this. I personally wouldn't want to be around. I wouldn't trust my cousin. If you my cousin, you supposed to be on my side. Now you going with the ops and dragging for me? No ma'am, no ham. That's not what we doing. But anyway, Kiki said she didn't appreciate that. You know what I mean? And she felt like, Tiff was overstepping her bounds, as she always does. But anyway, Mel invites Kiki out for high tea at high noon. She's going to do an event with the girls to learn how to communicate. And I'm going, this is not going to end well, child. Y'all could dress up and put the hats on and all of that, girl. This is not going to end well. But anyway, Kiki said she would love to come because she got to talk to Tiffany about overstepping her bounds or whatever the case may be. But she said she don't feel respected by Tiffany 100%. So she's not really feeling her. And I'm saying, girl, bye. Bye, Kiki. You don't get no respect. Honestly, you haven't done anything to get respect from nobody. So personally, for the first time, oh Lord, the first time, I agree with Tiffany. Lord have mercy. It took a lot for me to just say that just now. It did. But I agree with Tiffany, girl. Tiffany could have did it better, but I agree with it nevertheless. Anyway, that was the end of this doggone episode, girl. Listen, this is a lot. I know y'all gonna wrestle me. I'm here for it. Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought. Do you agree or do you disagree? Why not? I'm here for all of it. Just don't be disrespectful. And I'm here for it, child. Listen, this is an open forum. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. You feel me? Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on TikTok, as usual. And I will see y'all hoes later. Bye.
Mr. Carroll. How you give the voodoo doll time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.